human beings select a site to live. We raise families and build communities. Such collective lives are connected to form regions, and when the regions expand, they become territory in the name of the country. Humans are animals of space. For the past 20 years, the Center for Balanced Regional Development of KIET has been trying to balance the territory of the Republic of Korea, thinking about the right solution for regional development. The 20 years of our struggle to achieve equity in the space we live in has been a time of challenge for bettering our lives as spatial animals. In September 1983, PhD-level researchers were dispatched to support KIET located in Busan, Daegu, and Gwangju. Such move came out of the sense of calling that the KIET, which has supported the theoretical foundation of Korea's industrial development, needed to speak out in the local economic scene as well. In short, KIET was the first state-run research institute with a critical mind on the local economy.
그 당시에는 지역 경제에 관한 전문가들이 거의 없었습니다. 그래서 정책을 입안할 때 되면 지역적인 측면에서 상당한 어려움이 많이 있었습니다. 근데 그런 부분들을 저희 산업연구원의 지역의 분원을 통해서 정보를 가져오고 분석을 하고 함으로써 정책 수립에 굉장히 많은 기여를 했다라는 게 일반적인 평가입니다.
KIET's pioneering DNA in regards to the local economy led to the establishment of the Regional Industry Research Center in October 1991 and the launch of the Center for Balanced National Development in June 2003. The participatory government that made balanced national development a top priority enacted a plan to expand and reorganize KIET's Regional Industry Research Center, consisting of 7 to 8 researchers at the time, into the Research Center for Balanced National Development, comprised of around 20 researchers. It was unprecedented for the law to stipulate the establishment and operation of a specific department of a national research institute. Research Center for Balanced National Development changed its name to the Center for Balanced Regional Development in July 2023 and has been conducting more active and in-depth research activities since then. The Republic of Korea is a country where more than half of the population is concentrated in the Seoul metropolitan area, which accounts for only 11.8% of the entire land area. The concentration of people and resources leads to regional gaps, and such regional gaps further intensify the distorted concentration of people and resources. Every day of the Research Center for Balanced National Development is focused with efforts to end this non-virtuous cycle. Laying the foundation for the 5-year plan for balanced national development is the most important task of the Research Center for Balanced National Development. The center has been making efforts to harmonize the consistency of pan-national tasks with the philosophical differentiation of previous governments by supporting the establishment of implementation plans for central ministries and each metropolitan city and province every year. The political orientation of decentralization and the economic goal of regional revitalization are the warp and weft of balanced national development. Words that imply regional growth, such as administrative complex cities, innovative cities, special case cities, industrial clusters, free economic zones, free trade zones, and startup villages, are inseparably connected with the Research Center for Balanced National Development. The industrial dynamics in various parts of the region, including the structural improvement of the Daegu textile industry and the Busan shoe industry, the high value-added industry of the Gyeongnam machinery industry, and the fostering of the Gwangju mining industry, are proud achievements of the Research Center for Balanced National Development.
사실 균형 발전의 문제는요, 이게 점점 가면 갈수록 이해관계의 문제가 돼가지고 말하자면 수도 정권의 이해관계를 가진 사람의 힘이 너무 강한 거예요. 지금. 뭐가 있어야 되는가 하면 말하자면 논리적으로 싸울 수 있는 그 무기들이 준비되어 있어야 돼요. 그 무기들을 준비해 주는 것이 어딘가 하면 나는 산업연구원의 이 발전센터 같은 이런 데가 이제 중요하다고 보는 거죠.
The fourth industrial revolution era, local research also requires a change in perspective.
글로벌 금융위기와 코로나 팬데믹을 거치면서 세계 경제 환경은 급변하고 있습니다. 디지털 전환, 그린 전환 등은 지금까지의 산업 발전과는 궤를 달리하는 산업 대전환을 요구하고 있습니다. 인구 구조의 변화와 눈앞에 닥친 지방 소멸은 지역 균형 발전 문제를 기존과는 완전히 다른 차원에서 바라볼 것을 요구하고 있습니다. 정책 실행력과 지역 형평성 모두를 높이는 해법을 제시하는 그런 조직으로 발전해 나가야 할 것입니다.
The region should not be an obstacle. If treated as such, the growth of Korea will inevitably be distorted. The past 20 years of the center has been a time of efforts to correct the regional gap problem, which is a weakness of our economy.
한반도의 나라가 만들어진 이후로 지금까지 꾸준히 발전을 해왔는데 그 발전의 최정점을 지나고 있다고 생각합니다. 여기도 지방까지 무너지고 있으니까 여기에 큰 위기감을 가져야 된다고 생각합니다. 연구기관이나 정부 쪽에서 통상적으로 해오던 그런 눈으로 지금 현실과 미래를 봐서는 안 된다고 말입니다.
For the next 20 years, the Research Center for Balanced National Development harbors a bigger dream. The Republic of Korea, where the region becomes a stepping stone and not an obstacle, and an era of decentralization, where all citizens enjoy equal opportunities wherever they live. Such is the dream that the Research Center for Balanced National Development envisions for the Republic of Korea, where people realize their dreams in the space where they were born and raised.
지방이 자주권을 가지고 지방 스스로의 발전 역량을 키워서 수도권보다가 더 높은 삶의 질을 확보하면서 중앙정부는 거기에 상응하는 권한과 재정을 이양을 해줌으로써 균형 발전을 꾀하겠다는 그러한 정책 발상의 큰 전환기를 맞이하였습니다. 이러한 정책 패러다임의 전환에 맞춰서 연구활동을 열심히 해주시기를 부탁을 드리고 함께 노력해 나갈 것을 다짐을 합니다.
Development of the region, balance of the country, spatial equity. As it has been for the past 20 years, the Research Center for Balanced National Development of KIET will serve as the priming water to realize these dreams. We will be the best research institute responsible for the even and equitable growth of Korea.